Welcome back to Echoes of Hope, the channel where stories are told not just to inspire, but to heal. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends. Each story we tell carries a message that could change a life, and with your support, we can spread hope to thousands of souls who need it most. Today, we bring you a powerful story called Finding Light in Darkness. So sit back, listen closely, and let this story remind you that no matter how heavy the night may feel, the dawn will always come. In a forgotten town, silence filled the streets. Houses were empty, shops stood closed, and hope felt like a distant memory. The once busy marketplace where children laughed and merchants sold their goods had now become nothing more than an echo of the past. Among the people who remained in this town was Daniel, a man in his early 40s. Once a proud builder, he had lost everything when his home burned down in a fire. All that remained was his shadow, walking with no direction. Then there was Miriam, a woman who had once carried joy in her eyes, but now carried grief too deep for words. She had lost her family in an accident and lived every day with the question, "Why me?" Though they lived in the same town, they had never spoken, two strangers, both prisoners of sorrow. One stormy evening, the power grid collapsed. The entire town was thrown into total darkness. People rushed into an old shelter, trying to escape the cold winds and the rain that pounded the earth. Daniel found himself sitting quietly in one corner, while Miriam sat across from him, her hands trembling as she clutched her shawl. For a long time, no one spoke. The only sound was the storm outside and the restless breaths of people waiting for light that never came. Finally, Miriam whispered into the silence, "It feels like the world has forgotten us." Her words echoed in the room, hitting Daniel's heart. He slowly reached into his coat pocket and pulled out something small, a single candle. His last one. He struck a match, and as the flame caught the wick, the room filled with a soft glow. Everyone's eyes lifted. Children who had been crying grew silent. The candlelight reflected in their faces, reminding them that even a flicker was enough to push back the darkness. Miriam looked at Daniel and said quietly, "It's so little. It won't last long." Daniel nodded but replied, "But little is not nothing. Sometimes, one small light is all it takes to remind us that we're still here, still breathing, still alive." The flame danced gently, and for the first time in years, Miriam smiled, not because her pain was gone, but because she realized she wasn't alone in it. That night, Daniel and Miriam spoke for hours. They shared their stories, their heartbreak, their fears. The candle burned lower and lower, but their hearts grew brighter with every word. By the time the flame went out, something powerful had been lit inside them, something no storm could take away. Hope. The next day, Miriam found herself helping others in the shelter, comforting children, and sharing food with the hungry. Daniel began to repair broken walls and fix windows. Slowly, the town started to stir again, as if that single candle had awakened everyone's forgotten strength. Years later, people in that town would still talk about that night. Not because of the storm, but because of the last candle, the little flame that sparked courage, faith, and unity. Daniel and Miriam never forgot what they discovered that night. That even the smallest act of light, the tiniest gesture of kindness, can turn despair into hope. And sometimes what we think is too small to matter is the very thing that saves someone else's life. Friends, maybe right now you feel like you're sitting in the dark, waiting for light that seems like it will never come. Remember the story. Remember the candle. Even the smallest flame can change everything. If this story touched your heart, don't let it end here. Please subscribe to Echoes of Hope, like this video, and share it with your friends and family. By doing so, you'll help us spread light to countless others who are searching for hope. And never forget, as long as you carry even the smallest spark of faith, darkness will never win. Glowing star.